Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate the Deputy Administrator for being here today. And if I've asked a question that has been asked before, if you could restate the answer, I would appreciate that. But one thing that many of my constituents are asking, and they share the same concerns of my other colleagues here, but trying to understand the claim from the EPA Administrator in Kansas City a couple weeks ago and similar years here, this would provide more certainty compared to your current regulations. Can you tell me if this regulation would allow the federal control or regulation of ephemeral streams?
If it would make ephemeral streams jurisdictional if they exhibit those hydrologic characteristics that would be an indicator of significant and frequent enough flow.
Would that
be significant?
Would that yeah, then we get a definition of what's significant, and I've been through this at the state level. Would this increase or decrease the amount of Clean Water Act jurisdiction compared to current law?
We believe it would reduce.
It would reduce that. Have any states suggested otherwise in their comments?
I haven't read the state comments yet.
Have you read any comments about the rule?
Well, the comment period is open until, I think, October.
You haven't peeked at them a little bit early?
Well, I've been out talking to some states. I was in Oregon over the weekend.
Have any states indicated that they disagree with the assessment that it reduces?
I haven't heard that, but
Well, I'll give you a clue. In Kansas, the state of Kansas, estimates are from our state. It increases the jurisdiction by 400%. 400% more jurisdiction under the proposed rule. Instead of regulating 32,000 miles of stream miles, it would increase that to 134,000 miles. How could they be that wrong? You're claiming the jurisdiction goes down. The state of Kansas actually lives there. Yeah. And we worry about our environment. As a farmer myself, I consider myself the first environmentalist. How could they be so wrong and misunderstanding of your rule?
I would love to see their analysis, and I'd love to get our staff to sit down with them and understand why that we see such a different situation. I know that there are more than half the states already cover ephemeral streams themselves, including Kansas.
Well, the issue is
including Kansas.
Not under the Clean Water Act, sir. The issue here, I also asked one about is navigable. Can you describe or define navigable for the committee, please?
The navigable in the Webster Dictionary.
No, in the Near Legal Dictionary.
In the Clean Water Act, the navigable has been defined by Congress as waters of the United States. That's what the definition is in the Clean Water Act of 1972, and the Supreme Court.
No, navigable is an adjective, not describing the waters of the U.S. It's a limit on the jurisdiction of the Clean Water Act. It doesn't describe every water of the U.S., sir. You are clearly wrong.
Well,
can you define navigable?
Navigable
limit on the power.
The navigable waters include waters that flow into traditionally navigable waters that can have an impact on the biological, chemical, and physical integrity of those navigable waters.
So navigable water is water that flows into a navigable stream? So non-navigable waters, by that definition, become navigable?
No, waters of the United States.
Waters of the U.S. do include non-navigable waters, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a distinction. So
what you've done now with the waters, the Clean Water Act is looking about controlling water pollution. And controlling water pollution, even if
the authority of the federal government is limited to navigable waters.
And controlling water pollution that could enter it.
Under navigable waters.
And
here's a
water
question
pollution
for
enters
clarification.
Water pollution enters from other streams.
You believe this is going to bring some certainty. Here's a body of water in western Kansas. It actually rained once upon a time. This was a few weeks ago. Is this a navigable stream?
It is neither navigable or waters of or jurisdictional under the Clean Water Act.
You can guarantee me today that this will not be under the jurisdiction of the EPA.
You know, I'm just not going to go any further than what I just said because that's just unfair. I have to go out and look at that, but it looks like wetness in a field which would not be navigable which would not be
But it
jurisdictional.
might flow down the road ditch to a navigable stream.
Doesn't
Is that
matter. It
correct?
doesn't exhibit the characteristics that I mentioned earlier, or the hydric soils, or the hydric vegetation. That is a puddle in a field, and it would not be covered.
So you can absolutely guarantee me a puddle in a field, a road ditch in western Kansas will not be covered, guaranteed not covered under this new
A
regulation.
road ditch that's not a channelized stream would not be covered. Some road ditches actually are channelizing a stream, but putting that aside, road ditches for the vast majority of them are not going to be covered, not be jurisdictional, and wet fields are not going to be jurisdictional. They're not going to be jurisdictional.
I yield back, Mr. Chairman.